After an exciting race at the 2025 MotoGP Le Mans, Pecco Bagnaia was seen to be very angry with the Ducati team. His failure to overtake Marc Marquez, who once again showed his dominance, left the Italian rider very disappointed with the performance of his bike. Given how much hope he had of winning, what was really behind Bagnaia's failure to catch Marquez at Le Mans? Let's discuss. The 2025 MotoGP season has left an unexpected story for Francesco Pecco Bagnaia. Although he still holds third place in the standings with 120 points, Bagnaia is now far behind Marc Marquez, who is dominating at the top. This situation has increased tension within the Ducati team, especially as Bagnaia seems to be struggling to catch up with his teammate, who has been performing exceptionally well on the Ducati Desmosedici GP25. After 6 rounds, Bagnaia has yet to put in the sort of performance that would see him win the title this season. Although there are still 16 races to go, Bagnaia's hopes are fading after 6 unconvincing races. In fact, Marquez, who is now his teammate, has shown much better speed and consistency. Bagnaia only managed 1 victory in the United States MotoGP, thanks to a crash by Marquez, and finished second once and third twice. However, the final race in France was his low point. Bagnaia crashed out of the race and could only finish 16th. In response to his failure, Bagnaia did not hesitate to express his frustration. He told the official MotoGP website, "My team have to explain to me, they have to give me something more. I know they have tried everything to help me, but after 6 races we haven't found a solution." In fact, he admitted that he was beginning to feel insensitive to the Ducati Desmosedici GP25 that he has been riding this season. Whether you want to do the fastest time or 4 seconds slower, it's the same, there's no feedback from the bike. It's really hard. Just like in Thailand, he said, recalling the difficulties he has experienced since the beginning of the season, especially during the first series in Thailand. Although many predicted that Bagnaia would be a tough competitor for Marquez this season, in reality he has struggled to keep up with his teammates' pace. In fact, both riders use the same bike, the Ducati Desmosedici GP25. However, Marquez's performance has been much more consistent and impressive, while Bagnaia has continued to struggle with uncertainty on his bike. Bagnaia could not escape the fact that Marquez was faster and more confident on the Ducati GP25. In his confession, Bagnaia even admired Marquez's ability to adapt to his new bike. He jumped straight from the GP23 to the GP25 version, without any race experience with the GP24. "I myself still have some problems with the GP25, said Bagnaia. He continued with a more modest tone, "I think that even if he was racing with a tractor, he would be fast and I wouldn't be." The main problem for Bagnaia is the difference in technical approach between him and Marquez. The Ducati GP25 chassis, which Marquez has been tweaking since the start of pre-season testing, has proved more successful for the 6-time world champion. Marquez prefers to use a modified GP24 chassis to suit his distinctive racing style. Bagnaia, on the other hand, prefers to stick with the older chassis, which he finds more comfortable, even if it is not as fast as the version proposed by Marquez. The GP25 is very fast and Marc has proved that. "This means that I have to change in a new way to regain my confidence on the bike," said Bagnaia, aware that he must adapt in order to return to winning ways. According to him, the key to regaining his speed and confidence is to find a new approach that is more in line with the characteristics of the bike. He is optimistic that once his confidence is restored, he will be back on the right track. However, the reality on the ground is not so simple. The difference in riding style between Bagnaia and Marquez, which has proved effective for the world champion, has forced Ducati and their technical team to work extra hard to adapt the bike to the needs of both riders. Indeed, Marquez himself expressed his concern for his teammate's situation. "I understand the obstacles he is facing. We have different approaches to the bike and that affects the results we get," said Marquez with empathy. After 6 rounds of racing, it is undeniable that Marquez has been able to overcome the challenges posed by the Ducati GP25. Of the 3 GP25s on the road this season, only Marquez's has managed to look dominant. He leads the standings with 171 points, while Bagnaia is a distant third with 120 and his other teammate Fabio Di Giannantonio is 5th with 72. The huge difference in results between Marquez and Bagnaia has clearly caused tension within the Ducati team. Despite being on the same team, the difference in speed and technical approach has left Bagnaia feeling increasingly under pressure. Bagnaia realizes that he needs to change his approach if he wants to compete at the top level again, and that means learning from Marquez's success. "What I have to do now is change," Bagnaia said with determination. "I can't continue to rely on the GP24 bike, even if it is still a good choice for Alex Marquez at the moment." The decision to move on from the nostalgia of the old bike is one of the most important steps in improving his performance for the rest of the season. Despite an exceptional performance at the 2025 French MotoGP, Marc Marquez was not free from small mistakes. In a race full of drama and suspense, Marquez admitted that the only mistake he made was when he was given a double long lap penalty. The mistake occurred when he tried to follow Alex Marquez, who took a similar path, but almost hit Fermin Aldeguer in turn 8. "The double long lap was the only little mistake I made," he said. "I tried to follow Alex and tried to do a long lap in the same way, but I almost hit Fermin. But after that I refocused and managed to score 20 important points." Despite the small mistake, Marquez was able to maintain consistency and produce positive results. With the British MotoGP to be held at the Silverstone circuit on May 23 to 25, Bagnaia will need to recover immediately. This 7th series will be an important opportunity for Bagnaia to improve his performance and return to the hunt for the world title. But with the pressure mounting, he must be able to find the right solution to his problems with the Ducati GP25. Now, with Marquez in extraordinary form, Bagnaia will have to work harder than ever, not only to match his rival but also to find answers to the technical problems that have made it difficult for him to perform at his best. Can Bagnaia step up and become a serious contender again this season? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, the Aprilia MotoGP team is undergoing major changes, with some surprising news about the future of Jorge Martin. The 2024 World Champion rider is reportedly set to leave the Aprilia team at the end of the 2025 season, thanks to a clause in his contract that gives him the right to leave if his performance results do not meet the expected standards. Martin, who has missed several important races this season due to injury, is now far from the top of the standings. Until the 6th series of the 2025 season, Martin has not managed to score a single point and his position is getting worse, further away from the competitors in front. Despite his status as last year's world champion, this performance, far from expectations, certainly raises big questions. Will this be a big step in Martin's career to seek new challenges? Or is the decision to leave Aprilia too hasty, considering the great potential he still has to rise again in the future? All eyes are now on this situation, which is sure to heat up as time goes on. With 16 races remaining in the season, Bagnaia and Ducati must find an immediate solution to the problems that continue to plague him. The next series, the British MotoGP at the Silverstone circuit, will be a stern test for Bagnaia to step up and compete with Marquez and other riders. All eyes will be on Ducati and Bagnaia to see if they can rediscover their form, or if Marquez will accelerate towards his 7th world title. As a team with high expectations, can Ducati and Bagnaia find a solution to their technical problems before it's too late? Write your opinion below.